This computer can't go live from here. Killing me. Let's try that again. Good morning, Upper Montclair. Sorry, Facebook. I am not your host. Your host is at home. I am your co-host, but I am on the board today. I am JT Bethea. Your host is Isaias Ramirez. Let me make sure I turn him on. Isaiah, can we hear you?
Yeah, you could. I can. Can I be heard these days?
Yes, Isaiah can be heard. I'm so happy
My
about that.
lordy, Lord, what a time to be alive, JT. What
Exactly.
a time to be alive. Hello, everybody.
Exactly. But let's get to the rest of the crew. Right in front of me on guest one, I have our segment host, Lana. Please pronounce your last name. I never said it right.
Kalapodakis.
Let's go. Let's go. Right next to her, we have Amina. Say hi, Amina.
Hey guys.
And we have, what would a morning buzz be without our sportscaster? What's up, Campbell?
Hi guys, how are
you? They are doing great. Let's pretend I am not nervous the first time I'm on the board and get right into it. Amina, you have a newscast to deliver. Want to go with that?
So in national news, the Washington Monument was temporarily closed Tuesday evening after a man vandalized the national landmark with profanities and red paint. U.S. Park Police identified the suspect as Sean Ray Deaton, 44, of Bloomington, Indiana, and charged him with trespassing, tampering, and vandalism in connection with the incident on Wednesday. The investigation is ongoing, and U.S. Park Police said there may be additional charges against Deaton. Authorities did not say how long the restoration process would take or how long the tourist attraction is expected to be closed to the public. In state news, a 35-year-old New Jersey man who convinced a Massachusetts couple they owed Amazon more than $69,000 was sentenced to 2.5 years in state prison. Rahul Alam of Voorhees pleaded guilty to 21 counts of larceny last week. Officials said Alam's co-conspirators are in Bangladesh and that he drove around the country picking up money from unsuspecting victims. Alam will be on probation for 3 years after finishing his prison sentence. The district attorney asked for a 5 to 6 year sentence. In local news, Montclair parents voiced support for the district's newly implemented sex education curriculum on Monday, speaking out against comments made by 2 Board of Education members and a resident at a meeting earlier this month, questioning the curriculum. The new standards expand on lessons about gender identity, sexual orientation, consent, and gender expression. Republican lawmakers in the state have opposed the new curriculum, arguing that the standards are not age appropriate. The policy changes included new statutes on the incorporation of age-appropriate instruction relative to consent for physical contact and sexual activity, the inclusion of instruction on mental health, information about the New Jersey Safe Haven Infant Protection Act, and infusion of African American accomplishments into the school curriculum. The weather today is partly cloudy with a high of 71 and a low of 53, with a humidity level of 82% and good air quality with a level of 39. I'm Amina, and this has been your 7 a.m. news report.
And you killed it as usual. Let's move on.
JT, wait. Hold on a second.
Back up.
First off, you're doing great so far, pal. Secondly, though, is the fact that they were able to get away with $69,000 for a pretty good amount of time before being arrested and all that stuff and sentenced is insane. How is that $69,000?
Yeah.
Shout out to them. Hey, shout out to the co-conspirators in Bangladesh.
The couple was like, they were 80 years old.
Oh, that's even worse. I assumed it was like a young couple and they were just stupid, but now my opinion has changed. Those poor old people.
So do you think they're old and stupid, Isaiah?
I mean, clearly. I mean, to lose $69,000. I mean, sheesh. Anyways.
That's more money than I'll probably ever see. Campbell, you got a sportscast. Let's hear it.
Yes, I do. I missed you folks last week.
No, we missed you too, buddy.
I can't
So,
believe-
week 3 of the NFL season gets underway as an AFC North rivalry renews on the banks of Lake Erie. The Steelers play the Browns tonight in Cleveland, Ohio, and that's going to be on Amazon Prime Video for Thursday Night Football. This past week, New York Football Giants kicker Graham Gano, aka Mr. Automatic, has received NFC Special Teams Player of the Week honors after scoring 13 of Big Blue's 19 points in their victory on Sunday against the Panthers. And of course, for you Eagles fans on campus, Darius Slay gets NFC Defensive Player of the Week. The Mets got shut out yesterday in Milwaukee and will have an off day today. But the Yankees did rout the Pirates last night as Gleyber Torres hit 2 homers in the same inning. But tonight, will Aaron Judge pass Roger Maris's record of 61 home runs against the Boston Red Sox? Well, may never know until that happens. Yesterday, reporting Phoenix Suns owner Robert Sarver is in the process of selling both the Suns and the Mercury. We'll have more on that later. And last night, just reporting per ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski, Boston Celtics head coach Ime Udoka is facing disciplinary action and significant suspension from the team for having a consensual intimate relationship with a female staffer. That is all for sports on the 7 a.m. hour. I'm Campbell Donovan here for 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair.
Your sportscast was great as usual. I have a question though.
Uh-oh.
Consensual, correct? That last one, right?
Yes, that was read in the report.
Okay. So I might sound a little como se dice uneducated, but how do they gather disciplining somebody for having a, like mentioned, consensual relationship? To me, that doesn't make sense.
So what I was reading last night and this morning, that it is a team issue, not a league issue. So I believe that they might be suspending him from the team might be suspending him, and I'm not sure if the league is going to go into investigation with this. But this kind of report came out of the blue last night at around 10 o'clock. As people were probably trying to scroll through Twitter, and basketball fans are saying, "Oh my goodness, what is this?" And people are trying to fish for answers this morning and whatnot. But we'll probably know more as the day progresses.
Yeah. Like many things, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, actually, you want to know what does make sense to me? Kind of. This first story we have, and it says Isaias is going to take this away. So, Isaias, how about you report this first story from the comfy of your own home?
You know what's great? JT, is today, for today only, unless I croak today after the show, you are the host today. So, I mean,
whoa,
what a time to be alive, JT. What an honor. Very
honored.
quickly, though, I'm glad you caught up on that when Campbell had said it. But initially, I was like, oh, God, here we go. Another non-consensual thing revolving around a sports player, executive, or athletes. And luckily, at least from the information we've gathered so far, it was consensual and we don't have to worry about that angle. Congrats to him for being respectable, I guess. That's a lot to ask these days. Anyways, guys,
the bar.
Time to talk about good old President Biden, as he had a lot to say in his address to the United Nations General Assembly yesterday. The president went to say that the world has experienced great upheaval over the past year, including a brutal and needless war, a war chosen by one man. The one man, of course, being Russian President Vladimir Putin. He appealed to other nations to uphold the ideals of the United Nations, the ones that say a country can't take another's territory by force. Among his rebuke of Russia's force, Biden also pledged that Washington will not let Iran obtain a nuclear weapon amid stalled negotiations to revive the 2015 Iran nuclear agreement. Biden had this to say on that quote, "While the United States is prepared for a mutual return to the Joint Comprehension Plan of Action, if Iran steps up to its obligations, the United States is clear. We will not allow Iran to acquire nuclear weapons," end quote. Additionally, the 45th president reaffirmed support for two solutions, saying, quotes, "The United States is committed to Israel's security, full stop, and negotiated two-state solution remains, in our view, the best way to ensure Israel's security and prosperity for the future and give the Palestinians a state to which they are entitled." End quote. A lot of things going on around the world, as they like to say. JT, I'm gonna throw it to you first.
You want to throw it to me? Well, I find it interesting but not surprising that his main drivel was to rebuke Russia. It seems like Russia has been the scapegoat for a lot of things. And the question that I seem to raise, not only myself seems to raise, but a lot of people seem to raise is it deserved? Do they deserve to be the end of the joke for a lot of things going wrong with the world? Even down to miniature things like gas prices in the United States have been pinned on Russia, and it all stems back to this Russia and Ukraine debacle that started earlier this year. I may be wrong, maybe right. Who knows?
Yeah.
Internet knows. They know. Let's throw to one of you guys. Lana, what do you think?
Sorry. First off, I just want to apologize for me sounding like this. I have a cold.
No apologies. Just
Oh.
don't get
Who
upset.
gets a cold? Come on, Lana. That's not even cool.
Bro.
I'm very susceptible to the weather. Anyway, I have to agree, JT. I mean, honestly, it isn't really like surprising that he would be like sending this message, and like a lot of things like have been, as you said, like blamed on Russia's war with Ukraine for like gas prices and other things like that. I mean, it is kind of, I guess, like a moral thing when you think about it, about taking a territory from force. So it's basically is imperialism. Right
I
or
just, my thing here is this though, is like he's been very aggressive in how he's responded to Vladimir Putin and Russia, and fairly given considering the actions that went down and how it went down. But when they start talking about like land and all that stuff, like you guys have mentioned, it's just interesting to see how he's kind of going about the whole Israel and Palestine thing going on.
wrong.
Because obviously they've been at war for so long, and then to kind of just, I don't know, still back Israel in that kind of way. And this is obviously my opinion. No need to represent the station, but
This does not represent
yeah,
the
to
MSC in
be
any way, shape, or
so
form. Thank you.
full on and just be like, we need to protect Israel's security and all this stuff, despite them kind of, I don't know, from doing my research in history, it seems like they're the people in the wrong. So you're kind of backing the wrong side, I think. But hey, whatever that means. I guess I'm glad that they think Palestine is a state in which they're entitled to, which they are. But that could be a discussion for a different time because we could probably go on for too long about that. So JT, let's bring it back to more information that is more national than international.
More national than international. Well, nothing gets more national than 2020. And one of the main things that happened in 2020, other than COVID, we saw a spike in police brutality. Now, one of those sources being brought up as one of the officers involved in George Floyd's murder has finally been sentenced. Thomas Lane, a former Minneapolis police officer who pleaded guilty to second-degree manslaughter in the killing of George Floyd, was sentenced Wednesday to 3 years in prison. Lane held down Floyd's legs as he cried out that he couldn't breathe, while another former officer, Derek Chauvin, knelt on Floyd's neck for 9.5 minutes on May 25th, 2020. Lane pleaded guilty in May to a state charge of aiding and abetting second-degree manslaughter. State prosecutors and Lane's attorney had jointly recommended a 3-year sentence. Lane was already serving a 30-month sentence at a Federal Bureau of Prisons facility in Englewood, Colorado. I heard that, Isaias. After a jury found him guilty of a federal charge of violating Floyd's right by not providing him with the medical care after Chauvin knelt on his neck. Evidence showed Lane asked twice if Floyd should be turned on his side, but still assisted in restraining him face down on the pavement despite the risk. Two former officers, J. Alexander Kyung and Chao Thao, are scheduled to stand trial next month on charges of aiding and abetting second-degree murder and second-degree manslaughter. Why did it take this long? That's literally my first question. I don't know. I could go on and on about this, and I'm gonna tread very carefully because my opinions tend to get me all riled up.
Get riled
But
up this morning,
you
JT.
know
Get riled
what?
up.
I
Let
could
it
get riled
fly.
up, but if I get riled up, I might give a certain button an exercise. So I'm gonna keep it. But I will say that while I'm glad this finally came, I will say that again, it's been too long, and my opinions on the necessarily fairness of this sentence, they're a little shut. So I'm gonna open it to the floor before I go on. Let's start with Amina. What do you think?
I was gonna say the same thing, and seeing that it was in 2020, honestly, it feels like it still just happened yesterday.
Mhm,
Like that was 2 years ago. Well, I feel like we're going on three, right?
mhm.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's still something. I feel like we shouldn't have had to fight for something that was clearly like straightforward. Like I feel like George Floyd's case was very much like we seen it, so it should have been immediately. They should have been charged right then and there.
Mhm.
It shouldn't have even taken this long. So I feel like this is just. I feel like this happens all the time anyway. Like whenever we see these cases, it always takes forever. And then I
Yeah.
feel like this is also their way of kind of like saying, okay, here you got what you wanted finally. Now stop talking about it.
Also, if people might not remember, but the other officers involved weren't even initially arrested or charged.
Yeah.
Derek Chauvin was arrested initially amongst the very public and very aggressive backlash, but the other three, I remember it took a little bit for them to catch on to, which I also found insane. This why we're still discussing this case, aside from paying our respects to Floyd in 2022. Uh, I don't know how I feel about that.
You know what's
Actually,
crazy, JT?
yeah.
Is something I found interesting is that the previous two officers that were sentenced, they obviously the courts had recommended like a certain sentence for them as well, and they had a reduced sentence. So at first, when I saw this story, I was worried that they were kind of gonna go that route as well by taking less time than recommended. But it looks like they did the exact time that the attorneys had recommended, I guess.
I guess.
So yeah, I don't know if 3 years is really enough in exchange for somebody's life. But I
Is
guess
it?
it's a start. At least he's in jail. Uh, but yeah,
He
this whole
did
time,
something.
it's just like every time you kind of hear like the numbers coming out within these trials and cases similar to these because they happen for some reason way too often within this country, you always kind of just think to yourself, is 10 years really worth a whole life? Is 5 years worth a whole life?
Mhm.
And it's not because one person is gone forever and these guys will go through the judicial system, they'll go into prison, they'll be reformed because that's what you're supposed to do in prison. But I doubt anything mentally would really change for
They'll be
any of
in
these.
protective custody because they're police officers. You already know that.
Yeah, so it's kind of just like a like you're happy but then you're also like, but what's next kind of thing.
There's still a lot
um
of work to be done.
yeah.
I we could spend all this time talking about the amount of work that should be done. So you know what we are going to do? We're going to go to a short break before we come back. In the true Isaiah tradition, I'm going to keep his spirit alive. I'm going to be playing actual music, not whatever next gen decides to spin for us. And when we
Yeah.
come back, we'll have more stories on presidents, both former and recent, and gas prices, everybody's favorite topic. Let's go. As much as I love that song, I forgot just how long it actually is. So we have news to get to. As much as I love Miss Lauren Hill, can everybody hear me? Zoom, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yay! Perfection. So we're gonna get right into the next story. Isaias, you so cleverly named this Old Prez Do Bad. Tell me, what did Donny Boy do bad this time?
He did a lot of bad things. And we're going to talk about him as Lana almost died in the background. Let's get right into it. New York Attorney General sued former President Donald Trump and his company for fraud. The civil lawsuit alleges that Trump and his company padded his net worth by billions and billions of dollars by lying about the value of prized assets, including golf courses, hotels, and his homes at Trump Tower and good old Mar-a-Lago. Attorney General Letitia James' lawsuit was filed in New York State Court. This culmination of a 3-year civil investigation of Trump and the Trump Organization. Trump's 3 eldest children, Donald Jr., Ivanka, and of course, Eric, were also named defendants, along with 2 longtime company executives, Alan Weiselberg and Jeffrey McConey. James wants Trump and the other defendants to pay at least $250 million, which she said was the approximate worth of the benefits it goes through fraudulent practices. James said her office filed the case, which is civil, not criminal in nature, after rejecting settlement offers made by lawyers for the defendant. According to James's office, the alleged scheme was intended to boost Trump's billionaire image and the value of his properties. When doing so, gave him an advantage, such as obtaining favorable loan terms, while playing down the value of assets at other times for tax purposes. James said at the news conference, quote, "This investigation revealed that Donald Trump engaged in years of illegal conduct to inflate his net worth, to deceive banks and the people of the great state of New York. Claiming you have the money that you don't have does not amount to the art of the deal. It's the art of the steal." James said her investigation uncovered potential criminal violations, including falsifying business records, issuing false financial statements, insurance fraud, conspiracy, and good old bank fraud. She said her office is referring those findings to federal prosecutors and the Internal Revenue Service. In a statement posted to his Truth Social platform, yes, that's still a thing. People actually use that. People actually went to the App Store, downloaded it, and have made profiles and posted on it because that's the world we live in. Anyways, here is the statement from the crazy man himself. Another witch hunt by a racist attorney general. A fraud was campaigned on a Get Trump platform, despite the fact that the city is one of the crime and murder disasters of the world under her watch. End quote. What a wild tweet. Not tweet. I don't know what to call post on Truth Social. What in the world is going on here, man? This is insane. And the fact that my thing is this, the IRS loves to let people know when you owe them money. They will let you know as soon as you owe them money. They will hunt you down. You could probably move to a very obscure country in a random place. So let's say you're in the Middle East for some reason. They will fly someone out to the Middle East and make sure that they get their money. How have they not been monitoring one of the most rich people? Air quotes for those who are listening to radio. How have they not gotten the money from Donald Trump at any point in time is absolutely insane to me because, I don't know, the IRS seems to love to take money.
You want to know what's really nuts? Is the fact that cute little things like bank fraud, just little
That's kinda
things like
cute.
yeah, I know, a little cutesy there. Things like fraud in general. I don't know, buddy. Me and you, we'd be seeing some time in the big house right now. But no,
Not the
Donnie.
big house.
Yeah, I said it and I'm proud of it. But no, Donnie over here, he just gets a cute little lawsuit. Yeah, that's all he gets. A little slap on the
And
wrist, little lawsuit.
it's not even just any kind of lawsuit, though. It is a civil lawsuit. It's not even
Like,
criminal.
We would
What
get
is
jail
happening?
and he gets Judge Judy. Like, that's what we're looking at here.
I mean, I can't wait for that to actually be a thing. I'm sure it's kind of already acted like that for the most part. It's been very kind of cinematic from everything that Trump has done, and I believe those things are going to start kicking up again. The investigations, and I'm sure they'll have the prime time slot again. They'll be hyping it up. They'll be like, This time, the Donald Trump investigation's going up with Sunday Night Football, and then it's gonna be like this ratings battle. That's gonna be exciting, guys. I can't wait until they bring out the steel
Amina's got
chairs and
some
the tables.
interesting facial expressions. What's going through your brain right now? Because I can like
just-
hear it.
Can't still believe that people like the things that come out of his mouth,
Ugh.
because it's just like, who says that?
Oh,
Who
God.
actually says that? And it's like when he says things like that, I'm like, are you serious?
Well, Amina, it's an actual witch hunt. I mean, as a proud Trumper myself, we need to. No, I can't even get back into that character. That is the most disturbing part. And when you actually see someone still to this point in 2022 on like his social media platform or wearing a MAGA hat or saying, "Yeah, I'm gonna vote for Trump in 2024." You're an insane human being. I think your rights to just anything need to be just taken away because there's no way. Like you're in a cult. I don't know what else to call
Thank
this.
you.
Whatever he does, he could literally punch a random lady on the street, and people would be like, "That person probably deserved it," because Trump would never just punch random
You
people.
know, he said that, right? He went on a rally
Jesus
one day
Christ.
and said, "I could probably get away with murder. I really could."
He could. He probably has. Not to accuse somebody of anything, but
No,
I wouldn't be
not to
surprised. It's
accuse
on my
anybody.
little bingo card of things revealed about Trump in this year. Murder's on there. If I get it, it's 4 in a row. Bingo. All right.
Isaiah has
All
been
I'm
playing
saying.
Snapchat bingo with Donald Trump.
That's crazy. It's just like insane to me that he can do no wrong. He can just like, it's so bizarre. It's the weirdest thing.
Crazy.
It's almost like I compare it to them rooting for like a sports team because no matter what he does, they're still gonna root for him for some reason.
Exactly.
It's so, and it's politics. It shouldn't be that way. You shouldn't
Exactly.
idolize a politician like that. You shouldn't want to have these things. And people are insane, man. And then these people like they breathe the same air as you. Yeah. No, I'm kidding.
Campbell, we
but
haven't
this
heard
is
you from you
crazy,
too
man.
much. What do you think before you move on?
You know, I mean, it is crazy the stuff that he's said throughout probably the last 6 to 8 years. I mean, in general, I mean, literally what he says is like, "Are you kidding me?" So
That
I
baby
mean,
Donnie.
this is just I don't want to put a pun here, but like I think this is like the ice on the cake here, but I mean, people have said, he's inevitable, he's untouchable at times, but I mean, like he can say something and he's like, "Oh, I'm Donald Trump. I can just say what I want, do what I want. I'm not gonna get in trouble for anything."
Do you think it's the icing on the cake though, Campbell? I feel like this
I
is
don't-
kind of just like a random party
it is
favor,
random.
like a bag
It
of
is random.
M&Ms. Like this, like
I'm
once
sorry,
again,
what?
hold on. Let me get to the comparison. All right, like when we think about Trump, we think like actual prosecution legally, and this is just a civil suit. But like, I think the icing on the cake is like he's in jail, or like
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like
I'll-
this
I'll
seems very
reiterate
just like
that.
okay, but like, what is this? Resolve it? Does he just owe someone money and then suddenly everyone forgets everything else this guy has done? You know what I mean? It seems kind of half good, half ugh. And it seems like once again I've had this prediction very long before. I don't think anything's gonna happen to him because just like Ezra Miller, he's able to avoid anything and everything that happens to him, accusations, anything. He's gonna avoid it somehow, and then we're gonna have this conversation like 2 months from now, and we're gonna say, "Well, it looks like nothing happened from any of these investigations or trials," and disappointment is kind of the key word to look at when you have things coming from our justice system, as we talked about a little bit earlier on the show. I'm starting to
Airports
notice a
around
pattern
justice.
here, JT.
A pattern? Have you
Yeah.
noticed it in like the past year or maybe how old is America?
I think probably a whole lifetime and spanning within generations of American history.
All the way down to the 45th president. Speaking about the 45th president, let's talk about something that everybody's been blaming on him. Maybe it is his fault. Who knows?
I
But
blame Obama.
oh boy, you're really committing to the Trumper bit, aren't you?
Oh, sorry. I blame Obama.
There we go. There we go. After 99 days, gas prices raised 1 cent. That was horrible. Anyway, gas prices have been falling for a record 9. Oh my God, you just got it, didn't you?
Get out of here. Just read the story. Read the story.
Gas prices have been falling for a record 99 days straight, giving drivers around the country hope that the aggressive inflation we've been seeing would be soon cooling down. The nationwide average price for gas ticked up to less than a penny on Wednesday to $3.68 per gallon, according to the AAA. That's down from the record 5.02 average in mid-June. The question now is whether Wednesday's increase is just a blip or the precursor to the return of higher prices. The answer matters to motorists and to President Joe Biden, who has taken credit for driving prices lower by releasing millions of barrels of oil from the nation's reserves. The 14-week decline in the prices was the longest streak since 2015. Phil Flynn, an analyst with the Price Futures Group, said that prices will go higher once the withdrawal of 1 million barrels per day from the U.S. Strategic Petroleum Reserve end this fall. The nationwide average prices soar above $5 a gallon and over $6 a gallon in California back in June, as economic recovery and an increase in travel boosted demand for gasoline, and Russia's war in Ukraine caused a spike in oil prices. Ooh, lot to debunk there. First of all, a lot of finger pointing between Biden, between again Russia, between just the economy in general. Follow-up question for y'all: who would y'all blame for the odd little spikes and lows in gas?
Well, not for nothing, JT, but
Uh-oh.
I feel like there's a good argument to say that Russia has fault within that, because it wasn't just the United States that was affected by gas prices. It was also a lot of European nations, especially European nations that completely rely on Russia for gas and oil prices. So I know like a lot of countries, I forget which country it was, but Russia had like just completely turned off their services to them, and they were kind of in the mud for a long time. And I think they're starting to dig themselves out, not quite the same way the United States has. But I would point to that being the number one. And then I would also probably point to inflation being another pretty big important factor here on why gas prices, along with literally everything else, including just water, bread, milk, eggs, anything you could think of that was like a pretty cheap thing was now a little more expensive. I would probably say those two things. But yeah, could we get, you could want to have any conspiracy theories, JT? Is this do you think Biden's an FBI spy? I don't, why do you keep saying that Russia is not to have any fault here?
Whoa, Mr. Buddy, Mr. Drake.
Are you
don't
a
put words in my
communist?
mouth.
Are you a communist?
Am
No,
I
I'm
a
kidding.
communist?
I'm kidding.
Possibly. I was thinking about joining the Socialist Party on MSU campus. No. Do I think Biden's an FBI
Not a
agent?
thing.
I don't think he. Let's just say, I don't think Biden has the requirements for to be an FBI agent. But do I believe that Russia has a huge hand in gas spikes? Absolutely.
Okay.
Do I think that Biden could be doing a little more to help lower them? Of course. Do I blame him for the entire spike? No. But his little, like mentioned here, it was a very temporary fix to a long-term solution. So while it was nice to see prices, especially in New Jersey, the gas guzzling state of all places, where it was nice to see prices go down. We all knew eventually the tick would start to come back. Anybody else want to weigh in?
I mean, I don't drive, or at least I don't have a car. But I mean, I know like it was like a big topic, like gas prices was for a while.
Amina, you're my fellow commuter here. The rest of you hooligans are people that
You know
live on
what?
campus, you nerds. I'm
Mm,
kidding.
That's false.
You're a commuter, Campbell?
Yeah.
He's
Since
wrong.
when?
Prove
I
me
I,
wrong.
I live 10 minutes away.
Oh, you don't count. Get out of here.
What does that mean, Isaias?
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
See,
Well
I
then,
changed my
to,
mind.
I
to
got
both of
food
you
strike.
guys, though, you guys are also commuters like myself. How did you guys feel kind of during that time period where things were $5, almost $6 just for some gas?
honestly, sometimes, some mornings I woke up, I said, do I really need to go to class today? And I'm being so honest because it was like for me, it's like a 45 to an hour commute here. And so it's like that adds up. That adds up. And I think I was spending probably like 50 to fill up my tank. And then that's like getting gas more than once a week.
Mm.
So
Now,
yeah,
what kind of car do you have?
a HRV.
Okay, so that's like a bigger car.
It's like a mini SUV, but it's basically like a car, but like higher.
Oh, a higher car.
Yeah.
A car,
No, but
but higher.
like I have a very small Honda Civic, and it was like getting to the point where I was filling it like every single week, and it was $60 or more. I'm just thinking to myself, how is that even possible?
I
It's
don't
such a
know,
small
Isaiah.
car.
You
How does
give
this even
me
make sense? I want to flip a table. This is ridiculous.
Isaiah. You give me hamster car vibes. You know what I mean by that? Hamster car
You
vibes.
think I drive a Kia
Wait,
Soul?
I was gonna say like the green one with the
Mhm.
dancing hamsters.
Yeah.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Oh, I am
I
I'm
am
daily.
now offended.
assaulted. That is the biggest insult you could throw into anyone's direction. Whoever drives a Kia Soul, you're an insane human being. And I imagine you probably still support Trump. Who in the world is driving a Kia Soul after all those
Okay,
commercials?
okay,
This
but
is
what
absurd. This is a travesty.
Isaiah, what's worse? Somebody driving a Kia Soul or somebody living in Sussex County?
I think if you had the blend of a Kia Soul in Sussex County, you might be the worst human being alive.
Well, good thing I don't have a Kia Soul.
Thank that would have been hilarious. You're like, yeah, my mom has a Kia Soul. I'd be like, I don't know how to get myself out of the situation.
No, she's a Super Outback.
Oh God.
Shout out to the Subarus. Anyone
Um,
driving a Kia Soul, you disgust me. Thank you very much.
while we let Isaiah have this little I show speed moment, we are going to go to a very small break because we went a little overtime. You'll listen to some CBBS and Shomos, everybody's favorite. And when we come back, we have everybody's favorite section, the weird news, the goofy news, the news that makes us question humanity more than we already do. This
Wait,
is
JT. Next
yes.
up, we have Lana's segment. What are you talking
We
about?
do have a
Weird
lot of
news.
segment. The one, oh my God, I
Come
cannot wait.
on. What is
Y'all
going
can wait.
on?
What am I
Y'all are gonna
here
have to
for?
wait.
Then?
You have
What
no
is it?
choice but to wait.
Great teaser for hour 2, though. Great
Let's
program.
go.
I heard the COVID-19
Do we
vaccine has
really know about the
Did you
long-term
read that thing on the internet about
Hey, if you want to tune in for another positive or relax show, well, you missed your opportunity. You missed the first 30 minutes of the morning buzz because now we're diving into the chaos, everybody's favorite portion of the morning buzz. But we're gonna start
What
with our very
chaos,
own Lana's segment,
JT?
everybody's favorite segment. Tell us what is new, and weird in the movie and game world.
I'd love to.
Yay.
So we're starting off with a banger. This movie has been highly talked about. It has a Mr. Harry Styles and a Mr. Chris Pine,
Oh no.
and directed by a Miss Olivia Wilde.
Oh no.
Don't Worry, Darling comes out tomorrow in theaters and is rated R. Don't Worry, Darling tells the story of Alice and Jack, a couple who just moved into a company town for people working on the Victoria Project. While life seems perfect at first, it quickly comes tumbling down as Alice starts to notice things wrong in paradise.
JT?
Who let Harry Styles start acting? That's my only question.
Can you hear
yeah.
me?
Isaiah can't talk.
Oh, sorry, Zoom. What were you saying, Isaiah?
The blatant disrespect.
Ah.
Listen. I think we've gotten to the point where we can be honest. We can have moments of honesty, all right?
Can we?
We need to stop hyping up Harry Styles like he's really that guy, because he's not. He's never been and he never will be, all right? Now I will say, his music, I don't really care for it. It's not my cup of tea. Do I think his fans are probably
cup of
some of the
tea.
most annoying people on this planet? Absolutely. Would I say they're close to the level of Trump people? I wouldn't go that far, but man, are they getting close these days.
I mean, I have yet to walk into somebody's room and they have a 6-foot cardboard cutout of Donald Trump. Because I've seen Harry
Okay.
Styles. I went so I had to borrow something from my neighbor last semester, and she goes, "Yeah, just come in. My door's all popped open." So I open her door, and greeting me is a larger than life cardboard
my
cutout of Harry
God.
Styles, and I was like, "Oh my God, I suddenly no longer need help. I'm just gonna go."
Like, nah, I'm not even gonna take what I needed. I'm just gonna go. That's disturbing. See, now that's
That is
creepy.
disturbing. And like greeting you right at the door.
Bro, it was like right in front of her like bedpost facing the door, so it's the first thing I see. She was like on the other end of the room, so I opened the door and it's the first thing I'm looking at. I'm like, bro, I was about to punch you. I was about to punch you, cardboard cut. I was like right there in front of my face. Like, ain't no way, bro.
Oh boy.
It's valid. Are any of you guys very huge Harry Styles people?
Not really.
I'll make an exception here, but I don't know what's worse. Harry Styles fans, or Taylor Swift fans.
Oh no! I don't know if we have any Harry Styles fans at the station, but I know we have several.
Yeah,
Ratings
wait,
of
hold
these that
on.
will
I'm not
teleport
gonna
right here.
hold Campbell back. Campbell, let it fly. Preach your gospel about your anti-Taylor Swift fan people. Let the
Listen,
world know.
Listen, our
It's-
program director might teleport.
Catch
No way.
hands. Catch hands. Everyone's catching hands today.
Sorry,
Tell him,
Leslie.
Campbell.
It's not anti as much, but like it's just so annoying. Like the amount of like social media I see about like her fans like hyping her up and like and yes she's redoing her music and everything, but it's just so like all her fans talk about is just her and her and her and her. It's just like it's so much social media aspect of it. Like I'm like scrolling through my Twitter, scrolling through Instagram. I'm like, oh, there's another Taylor Swift fan, posting stuff, and it's like my cousins are Taylor Swift like fans, like they're obsessed with their music and stuff. And when she was like on the rise, way back when, and now she's making like she's doing her own music, like I said before. It's just like so much. It's like, man, I just can't like not stop seeing Taylor Swift. It's like too much for me.
God.
Draw the line.
Last,
We need better censorship of Taylor Swift content on social media.
last little
You
tidbit I'll
heard it
get.
here first.
Last little tidbit I'll get before we let Lana finish her segment. Unpopular opinion: Ariana Grande stands can be worse than Taylor Swift
Don't
and
do
Harry
that.
Styles combined.
All right, hold
Wow.
on.
Oh,
JT,
wow.
here's the
I
thing.
tried to move on.
JT, here's the thing: is that Ariana Grande and has actual talent, other than like the other two. No, I'm kidding. No, I
That coulda
haven't
went
noticed the
overboard.
extremity of. I just made up a word. That's not real. Well, what is
Probably
going on?
is.
But I think I haven't seen the extreme side of that fan base. But it
Oh, I have.
seems to
It is
me,
aggressive.
resident hugest fan of Ariana Grande, Amina. How do you feel about this?
like I said before, would I say I'm a diehard Ariana fan? No. But do I know more songs from her than I do Harry Styles? Yes. Taylor Swift? I don't know anything past 22, honestly.
Ooh.
I really didn't even know she still made music.
I was
And
thinking the same thing, Amina. I was like, does she still make music these
didn't
days?
even couldn't tell you. That's not
Yikes.
important. I haven't heard her. But Ariana, that girl's out and living. So
What's the last thing she made? No shade. I'm just generally wondering.
Mm.
I know she was
Um,
on Childish Gambino's album, but that was I feel like that's been many moons ago, like 3 years or something at this point.
Ye-
Probably licking
um,
donuts these days still. What
no, I
else we
can't
got though,
believe that.
Lana?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in light, it is now fall. Spooky season has begun.
Yes.
Ah,
Woo!
Jesus.
I'm
No.
so happy.
Isaiah, silent for me chewing. I have the power today.
Look, Isaiah, I love the summer. I really do, but spooky season just it's
It's the
hard.
worst time of the year.
It's awful.
the best.
Ugh.
Listen, the cold sucks, but the holidays rock.
That's true. We have Dark Harvest, which comes out today in theaters and is rated R. Ooh, my voice is dying. Let me just
We
take a sip
can't
of my water here.
That might be your new radio voice, Lana. Just like
Oh,
very
oh,
raspy.
no.
Uh
Oh my
I'm
god.
fine.
Hey,
Isaiah's just trying to
guys.
turn Lana
Ah.
into MF Doom.
I'm good. Every Halloween, the October Boy appears out of the cornfields, ready to haunt the nearby town. In
Ooh.
1963, a group of boys prepared to hunt down the October Boy and bring his reign of terror to an end. Young Pete McCormick is all for it until he discovers the true secret of the October Boy.
Oh.
Ooh,
What do you
this
guys
is-
think the secret is? Who's October Boy?
I don't know.
Is it you, Isaiah?
I would never be October Boy. Never.
Please.
Not that is not that disgusting
No.
waste of a month that is October,
No.
all right? I
You're
have
just the
I
August
have
boy.
class. I'm a July human being, all right?
Oh,
Look, I love
yeah.
July
October.
too, but
Ugh. Ugh.
October's pretty cool.
It's
my
really not. I mean, listen, October is the sign of death to me. And I say that it's because all your trees start to turn into this disgusting orange and all the green is gone. Everything's just rotting away. Then you have some bunch of idiots running around in very cheaply made Halloween costumes and knocking at your door at these godforsaken hours. I sound like a 70-year-old man.
You sound like
Literally.
Kenny. Shout
That's
out
a great
Kenny.
segue.
Listen, I adore Halloween. I love any excuse to be weirder than I already am. So you know what, Isaiah? You should love Halloween too. It allows people like us, pure freaks, to be
Don't put
ourselves.
me in the category of you.
No,
I'm
no.
I'm not
Own it.
no.
Own it.
I'm not trying to dress like a freak. I own my
You don't
weird
need to
nature,
dress-
okay? I don't need to
Alright,
dress like
Isaiah,
some weird
what's your-
monster.
In your idea, what's like the best Halloween costume then?
The best Well, I don't really like Halloween costumes at all. I mean, I was a ninja once.
Isaiah was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle in like second grade.
Maybe
That's
I
what I
was.
was.
Of course.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh my god.
Shout out to the Ninja Turtles though. Michelangelo and company, Leonardo.
JT,
Raphael?
you're throwing shade at me
Who's the
right now.
fourth
I
one?
was Raphael in second grade.
So was I, buddy.
Who was the fourth one? Who's the fourth one?
If you forgot
Donatello.
Donatello.
Donatello, the best one. Nah.
Donatello's not the best one.
Why?
Clearly,
Nah,
the
I'm
best
kidding.
character there is
Michelangelo.
Splinter.
Splinter is the best character.
Splinter.
Good old rat boy.
Splinter. Splinter. Professor.
Not Shredder. He's not the best
Nah.
character. Huh?
Nah, Shredder's not about that. How many times does Shredder have to lose? All right, we get it.
Every time.
Anyways.
Let's let Lana get over
Yeah,
one
yeah.
last thing in, and then
We
we'll
got another
try
movie.
and-
Yeah, we do. So this movie is not new, and I know that, and we all know that. But in memory of the ghost of Kenny, I thought we should talk about it.
Kenny.
Avatar is coming back to theaters tomorrow, and as you know, it's rated PG-13. James Cameron's Avatar tells the story of Jake Sully, an ex-Marine who is paralyzed from the waist down and wants to participate in the Avatar program to heal his body. When he arrives in Pandora and sees what humans are doing to the Na'vi, Will he be able to do something about it?
Why did I think you were talking about the Airbender at first?
I don't know why you
What?
thought that either.
Why didn't
I really don't know why.
Why did you think Airbender?
I don't know. I blame my roommate who loves that series, and for some reason, ever since he put me on to Avatar: The Last Airbender, my mind, whenever somebody says Airbender, it used to say the blue people. Now it goes directly into Appa and company.
Yip yip.
Yep.
Wow.
They're never gonna remake the Airbender, and we just have to face that.
I think that's probably for the better, considering
They
how
do have a movie in the works, but it said
another one.
Yes, but
Some
for
terrible
one,
idea.
No, that
It'll stay in the
that
works.
live action movie was horrible.
no, for one, no.
Stay in
The
the
difference between this one is one, the characters are actually culturally accurate, unlike last time when it was just the weird kid next door and 11 from Stranger Things that they had casted in that one. So
She's in that
hopeful-
movie.
No, the kid just looks.
Uh,
We're gonna hope that when the
That's
new
funny.
atrocity comes out, it's a little better than the last one. But we're talking about the blue people. I have not seen the first
Yeah.
one.
You never saw Avatar?
I haven't seen it
I,
either.
I haven't
honestly.
I haven't seen it in like forever, but
What
I
is
read
going
it.
on? Amina,
I'm a
you've
fake
never
film
seen it?
major.
I watched it. Do I have any recollection of what happened? No. All I
That's
know
fair.
is that it was like a simulation, right?
Mm,
Like
It felt like a simulation.
they were
No,
in-
so like they can like go into kind of like it's not really a simulation because the people actually exist.
but
But
they
like
weren't there. They weren't them though. Like they were
yeah,
basically-
they were like mutated into like they controlled another thing's body, I think. And then
'Cause
like
they
they
were,
went
like-
into the real world.
because they were still physically on Earth, or
No.
in their yes.
No, I think they are actually on the planet.
See, now I'm gonna have to like watch it because
I'm
I just
almost
know
certain.
that's what happened.
But there's a couple things I remember about this movie. One, I just remember it being very visually appealing because I saw it in theaters and I think that was when everyone in Hollywood was doing like the 3D thing. So you watched it in 3D and it was like a really cool kind of environment because clearly they spent years and years on CGI and all that stuff and it looked beautiful. But one thing I do remember, like I'm almost certain, is like they're on this planet called Pandora and they
Mhm.
have like the ship and all these like buildings set up and then so like they put this guy into like this table and he's got this helmet thing on, he's like in a bed, I think. Yeah, I think it's almost like a tanning bed, and like you go in and then like his brain is connected to one of the blue people's brain that they created, and then now he's like part of the tribe thing.
But see, that's what I mean. Like he's still physically there. He's not. He himself isn't.
No, he's
in
not the blue
Pandora.
guy, but he's like no, he's on Pandora.
This is too much. This is probably why I didn't like it when I was little. Like I hated that movie.
You hated it?
I think also it felt really long.
It was
It
very
was.
That
It
movie
was
felt
long.
like it just didn't end.
It was almost like two movies put into one, which makes me so happy that they're making like 6 more of them for no reason.
isn't it
Um,
credited as? Isn't it literally still for the highest grossing movie of all time?
It might
might
be.
be.
Yeah,
Last
yeah.
time I checked, because I remember Endgame was set to rival that
Yeah.
some record that Avatar had put out.
I mean, honestly, for me with Avatar, the only thing I really know is that like I've seen pictures of Pandora and Disney, and I kind of want to go because it looks cool.
Oh, yep, Avatar.
Yeah.
They have the best rides at Universal.
I want to go so
I
bad.
want to go to Universal. I've never been.
We were cheap.
The
But
best.
yes, Avatar is ranked number 1. Lifetime gross is, oh my god, can I even read this number? There's 4 commas. I think that's a million.
Are you good?
I think that's a billion. I hope that's a billion.
I think
4 commas.
I think that's trillion.
Oh god, the trillions. And then if Lana's right, and this is 2,847 billion. No, that was a lie. Billion.
What is
2,847,397,339 dollars Avatar grossed. That is like that's a lot, to say the least.
A lot of cash.
A lot of cash that I will probably never see in 3 lifetimes.
You know, you could see that in Lifetime though.
What?
Some video games.
Exactly.
Sure, you could. So, I just want to apologize, Japanese speakers. I'm gonna butcher this. I am so
From
sorry.
the jump, Lana? From the
I-
jump?
She said disclaimer.
Disclaimer. I already know I can't do it, and I'm very upset.
Try
with
your
myself.
best
Okay.
if you believe you can.
Taki no Tajutsin Rhythm Festival comes out tomorrow for the Switch. Welcome to Omiko City. Follow Donchan and Kumu-kyun and becoming a Takio master. I am so sorry.
Yep. Seems like we're playing a taco simulator with rhythm dance in it.
I was thinking more Takis.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can't be eating Takis, man. Those are too much.
You're a disappointment as is. Anyway, what were you saying, Lana?
No, I was just gonna say, like, I saw people. This was the second game of this series, and I saw people play the first one, and like it looked cool because like you actually like had like an actual drum that you're like trying to like stick to the rhythm with.
Oh.
It's kind of like Beat Saber, except got an actual thing.
I was going more Guitar Hero with the description. But I
Okay,
like
well,
it.
yeah, more like Guitar Hero, probably.
Nice.
Did we play Guitar Hero? Anybody?
I sure did.
I have.
When
I'm
I
very
was
bad at
younger.
it.
I had the drums, the guitar, the microphones.
Oh, Amina was a one-woman
Ran a
band.
band with my siblings,
Oh.
and we had to get it perfect score, or we were restarting it immediately. Ooh.
Full on performance in Amina's
Amina-
household. I
Amina,
respect
would you
it.
say you were more on your Joe Jackson or on maybe not the best?
I don't know if
comparison.
anyone wants to be on the Joe Jackson side of things these days.
Listen,
Like, I just think I feel like if there was a Guitar Hero world contest, I would be up there.
oh yeah.
Wow.
I can believe it.
Probably still to this day, like if I had that guitar I could do it. I could do it.
From
No,
the
I would
boss
play
level,
Guitar Hero.
I'll tell Kyle. He'll probably
Yes,
dust one out of that archive somewhere.
Oh my gosh.
Wait,
that'd be great.
Lana, we got to get through one more before
that's
before
true.
the hour.
Oh yeah.
I'm so sorry. So our last one is Serial Cleaners, which comes out today for PS5, PS4, Xbox Series XS, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. In this top-down action game, you are a murder scene cleaner for the mob in 90s New York. Clean up without getting caught while learning each of the four cleaners' style and story.
This sounds like you know how everybody was campaigning against GTA.
Yeah.
This sounds like their version of here's a more friendly game for the children to play.
It don't look very friendly from what I saw.
Oh, never
Yeah.
mind.
I don't know if cleaning a murder scene is entirely kid friendly. JT.
I mean, would you say
Yeah.
GTA is a kid friendly year? Or
I
is that
wouldn't.
what you're
I
saying
wouldn't
here?
argue for any for any.
Is
of
that
us
what
being
you're saying
kid-friendly.
here at WMSC Upper Montclair? That GTA
Absolutely.
is friendlier?
I'm
would say
thinking.
they're on the same level.
Yeah, maybe stick to Donkey Kong or something. You're a
Crash
kid.
Bandicoot.
Crash Bandicoot, pretty cool guy. Pretty cool guy. Should we take a
Oh,
break?
man. Yes, we should take a break. Oh my god, I'm so crazy. I thought this was the end of the show. But anyway,
What is-
we're gonna
you,
go.
Okay, you're
on a
going through different segments and the
I
show.
am.
Good
I am.
lord.
But we are going on a short break. We are going to be playing more of everybody's favorite PSAs and CBBs because we can't get enough of them, can we? We'll be right back.
When it comes to vaping, the truth can get clouded. So let's make
Hi, Isaias. We're back.
Oh, wow, that seemed very seamless and like there was no problems happening within this show at all.
I don't like the way you said that, but we're going to start at the top with Amina's newscast.
All right, let's get into it.
Yeah.
I was going to say that too. In national news, the Washington Monument was temporarily closed Tuesday evening after a man vandalized the national landmark with profanities and red paint. U.S. Park Police identified the suspect as Sean Ray Deaton, 44 of Bloomington, Indiana, and charged him with trespassing, tampering, and vandalism in connection with the incident on Wednesday. The investigation is ongoing, and U.S. Park Police said there may be additional charges against Deaton. Authorities did not say how long the restoration process would take or how long the tourist attraction is expected to be closed to the public. In state news, a 35-year-old New Jersey man who convinced a Massachusetts couple they owed Amazon more than $69,000 was sentenced to 2.5 years in state prison. Rahul Alam of Voorhees pleaded guilty to 21 counts of larceny last week. Officials said Alam's co-conspirators are in Bangladesh and that he drove around the country picking up money from unsuspecting victims. Alam will be on probation for 3 years after finishing his prison sentence. The district attorney asked for a 5 to 6 year sentence. And in local news, Montclair parents voiced support for the district's newly implemented sex education curriculum Monday, speaking out against comments made by 2 Board of Education members and a resident at a meeting earlier this month, questioning the curriculum. The new standards expand on lessons about gender identity, sexual orientation, consent, and gender expression. Republican lawmakers in the state have opposed the new curriculum, arguing that the standards are not age appropriate. The policy changes included new statutes on the incorporation of age-appropriate instruction relative to consent for physical contact and sexual activity, the inclusion of instruction on mental health, information about the New Jersey Safe Haven Infant Protection Act, and infusion of African American accomplishments into the school curriculum. And your weather today, it is partly cloudy with a high of 71 and a low of 53, with a humidity level of 82% and good air quality with a level of 39. I'm Amina, and this has been your 8 a.m. news report.
Ooh, amazing as usual. It must be hot still because Isaiah seems to need to take off his sweater.
Yeah,
Why'd you have
I
to
thought he
call
was
me out on it?
dancing.
I don't
Good
know. I love doing
lord,
that.
man.
Love you,
I
Zay.
just
Love you, Zay. Anyway, we're gonna move on to our sports cast. Like I didn't just make that weird.
I could go. All right,
Yo.
thank you. I thought you were gonna mention my name, but
Oh, my
that's
bad,
good.
my
That's
bad.
good.
No. We're
hold
gonna go to
on,
our
give him
sportscast
a
with
real
Campbell.
introduction.
We're gonna
Come
go to our
on.
sportscast with Campbell. Let's go.
All right.
Is that better?
Yeah, thanks, JT.
Yay.
Week 3 tonight, of the NFL. Steelers Browns on Amazon Prime Video. Let's hope and pray the stream works and no one has issues going on the Amazon Prime Video
Knock on wood.
because it wasn't working well last week. So let's hope that works tonight. Yankees Red Sox tonight in the Bronx. Aaron Judge looks to tie and pass Roger Maris's record of 61 home runs. That's an American League record. Some might say Maris is the true home run king. I will gladly not state that because I do believe Barry Bonds is the home run king. So I'll leave that for another discussion. The 12th ranked MSU women's soccer team will take on Farmingdale State tonight at Pitcher Field, and volleyball has their eyes set on an epic rematch with the Rowan Profs and Panzer last year in the NJAC Championship. The Redhawks fell in a heartbreaking 5th set to the Profs, who went on to the NCAA tournament. And that is all for the AM Sportscast. I'm Campbell Donovan for 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair.
I have a question.
Beautiful.
I
Oh, no.
Campbell, great stuff as usual.
But what's
Listen,
the question?
yeah, I know Rowan is an absolute garbage pile of a university. But can we take a second? And they're called the Profs.
Yeah, I believe short for professors.
There's no way that
Yeah,
their
and
mascot.
their mascot's an owl,
Are you kidding me?
an actual owl with glasses on.
That might take the record as the worst mascot and the worst just team name in university history. That is embarrassing. You
No
should be
Rowan
embarrassed,
disrespect.
Rowan.
My lady friend goes there.
I'll tell
Listen,
you. I'll tell you what. That school in Glassboro does have some good athletics programs, and
listen, I don't care.
it's
They
tough.
could win 13 straight national championships. Until they change that disgusting name, none of it counts. It doesn't matter. I'm
You
gonna
wanna know
take their Heisman away from like Reggie Bush. This is ridiculous. What are we doing? Parovs? This is JT. You could take the show back onto where it needs to go, but that was this is real. Profs? Anyways.
Yeah, so we're gonna let Isaiah clean the steam coming out of his ears while we go on to our next story, which is somehow weirder than Isaiah's little rant on the Rowan mascot. I doubt it. But we're gonna talk about Tiffany Haddish and Aries Spears controversy.
Oh, my favorite topic.
Oh boy, I doubt that. But a woman who accused comedians Tiffany Haddish and Aries Spears of coercing her and her brother into recording sexually explicit skits when they were children filed a request to dismiss the claim. The first page of the filing asked the U.S. District Court for Central California to dismiss her lawsuit with prejudice, meaning it cannot be filed again. No reason was given on the first page for the move to withdraw. In a statement, she said, "We are glad that we can all put this behind us. My family and I have known Tiffany Haddish for many years, and we know that she will never harm me or my brother or help anyone else do anything that could harm us." Lost my thought. Okay. Attorneys for Haddish and Spears have not responded at this time. The lawsuit filed in Los Angeles County Superior on August 30th and moved to federal court a week and a half later, alleges Haddish and Spears separately coerced the siblings when they were children to take part in illicit slits. It claimed their participation, quote, stole the youth of a 7-year-old child and a 14-year-old child, end quote. Jane Doe, 22, filed the suit on behalf of herself and her younger brother, who is still a juvenile. 6 days after the lawsuit was filed, Haddish posted a message on Instagram expressing regret for her role in one of the comedy pieces. She said, quote, "While this sketch was intended to be comedic, it wasn't funny at all, and I deeply regret having agreed to act in it. I call cap on all of this." Well, not all of this. No. Let me rephrase. I call cap on the so-called come to Jesus moment that made her file to cancel the lawsuit. Somebody put her up to that. I also call cap on Haddish's regret having acted on it, because if it's one thing I know about celebrities, they aren't sorry. Never. Even when they absolutely should be, they aren't. And there is topic of whether or not they should be, because I get it. It was a different time back then. There was, social awareness wasn't as high as it was back then. So do I believe Haddish is necessarily sorry for what she did then? No. Do I believe that she realizes that we're in a different time, so she needs to come across as if she regrets everything? Yes, of course. I'm deciding now, before I dig myself into a hole, to open it to the floor. What does everybody else think?
Go ahead, Amina.
Okay. I was like, I agree. I think it's kind of weird that it's getting dismissed, but also for Tiffany, I feel like it wasn't genuine with her saying, "Oh, like I didn't mean to do it. Like I know I shouldn't have. It was a mistake." And it's like, girl, you knew what you were signing up for. Like you were a whole adult. Like you very much knew you wanted the check. You thought you were making it big, and so you did it. And I just feel like
She said, "I was
her
an
apology means
employee."
nothing. She kind of just wants to say that to like back herself up. And I don't know if anybody knows, but like she just posted yesterday about how she lost all of her gigs that she had booked because of the lawsuit. So now she's saying she has nothing. And it's like, okay, but what did you expect?
You know what I always find interesting though is like anytime celebrities kind of get themselves into these kind of territories, which first off, At any point, if you're a celebrity, not a celebrity, if you find yourself in a scenario with any minor, that is your own wrongdoing, man. You're an adult. You should know right from wrong, and just not. You shouldn't even be anywhere close to a scenario like this if you're a good person. Because normally, hot take here, but maybe don't have any sexual related actions or innuendos or themed for a movie, sketch, whatever, with children. I don't know. That might be a hot take on my end. Sorry for being so controversial. Um, but anytime a celebrity kind of gets caught up in this, it's just always this weird, sorry, but not really sorry. And then it's this, why doesn't everyone feel bad for me now? As someone that has to go through this, like my career's over and it's like not fair that everything is taken away from me. Like, lady, you're still sitting in your multi-million dollar home with like 3 cars. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna survive this because most likely than not, people are gonna forget about this story within 3 months because I'm sure some other weird, insane celebrity is probably like drinking cow milk or whatever. I can't think of anything. I tried to say something, but I can't say it.
You're
Drinking cow milk's
predicting
normal.
Megan Fox.
Yeah.
You know what? Funny thing, as I am in the business of news, and this is kind of what I would like to do with my life, but I really could care less for celebrity drama, if we're being honest. Every time a story enters, well, no, when it's something like this, when it's something serious, that's when I have to take a little bit of deciding, like, point out, yes, this is wrong, move on. That's literally all I do. Like these like topics, like this controversy has been what, about a month or so in right now, and it's like, yes, she should not have been doing that. Yes, get her right. Move on. Why we're still on the topic of conversation, aside from pure news purposes, I don't know. But Isaiah is right. People will forget about it because they will find something else to complain about someone else that did something a couple of decades ago that they shouldn't have been doing. But they didn't do anything about it then. So, hot take. What's the point of doing it now other than for tabloids?
You have that good old justice thing,
Yeah, we have the good
maybe
old
have
justice thing that
someone.
works for like people that like do. Well, no, I don't. No, no, no. It works for people who have done stuff 30 years ago, but it doesn't work for people who are doing stuff now, like embezzling government funds. Donnie.
Listen, my president will never do that.
Oh my god.
Exactly. Yikes. Yike, guys. This has been an interesting program. Let's
Oh my
talk about some
gosh.
some James Bond.
The program is
Um,
back. Oh,
Program
God.
has never left. But
Even
Lana's
when he's
voice
not in the
certainly
studio.
has.
Wow.
Listen.
Low.
Hey, low, my bad. Who gets a cold these days? Just kidding. Landing.
You apparently. You're at home.
I got COVID, man. I'm a COVID survivor, all right? Like,
Oh my God.
come
Okay.
on.
Okay. What about
Landing
James Bond?
James Bond may be the biggest acting gig in Hollywood, but 007 producers Barbara Broccoli, yes, her last name's Broccoli. I'm sure she had a great time in middle school. And Michael G. Wilson says that they still have to pitch prospective actors on the part. For a while, everyone with eyes and brains was imagining Idris Elba as the new James Bond, but the Luther star himself recently said he didn't see Bond when he looks in the mirror. Many have speculated that Elba has moved on from the idea of playing James Bond. Regardless, the Broccoli and Wilson team say they both understand how great he is and they would love to have him. Quote, the thing is you're going to be a couple years off. And when we cast Bond, it's a 10 to 12 year commitment. So he's probably thinking, if I really want that thing, not everybody wants to do that. It was hard enough getting Daniel Craig to do it, and he was in his early 30s at the time. Broccoli also added, quote, oh, who are you going to get? This is a lot to read. It's not just about casting an actor for a film. It's about reinvention and where we're taking it. What do we want to do with the character? And then once we figure that out, who's the right person for that particular reinvention? My guess is James Bond's going to space, everybody. Yep. James Bond,
Excuse me.
Avengers, Age of Ultron.
You're talking about the Fast and
combined.
Furious series. This is James Bond we're on.
Okay, can I pose a real question though?
No, no.
And this is an honest space, everyone. No one has to lie. Like we had some people tried to lie last week and it was very embarrassing, but we
Excuse
all
me?
knew the truth. All right.
Oh,
Nobody
please.
was going to theaters for Oprah. All right. But
My
we
fingers
need
on
to
the mute button, bro.
we need an honest conversation. Do
Mhm.
we even at this point in the year 2022 care that much about James Bond?
No.
No.
I am
JT?
Bond, James Bond. No, that might be the reason why they're remaking it though, to kind of,
Listen,
bring his
hold
name
on,
back out.
hold on.
Halloween costume ideas,
My
bro.
thing is this: is how many times do we really need to see a James Bond movie? Like we saw like 6 of them with Craig. There was probably like 12 of them with the other guy before, and probably another 12 of them with the other guy before. Why do we keep making it seem like everyone wants James Bond? We just like it's okay to end a character for a while. You want to wait like 40 years? Cool. I'm cool with that. But the fact that we got to kind of have this reinvention of the wheel is kind of stupid. And I don't care about it. I honestly couldn't care less on who is casted as the next James Bond because I know for a fact I'm not watching James Bond in theaters and I'm certainly not watching it even if it's on streaming services, all right?
Yeah, I can't say you're wrong, but
See, like
we're
it's
out of ideas. Why do you think we not only did we recycle Spider-Man 3 times, but then they got so desperate to where they didn't know what else to do with it, so they
the
recycled
Spider-Man thing
all
is out of
3
control.
Spider-Mans.
The Spider-Man thing is definitely out of control, and I've said that from a while ago. So like we could probably stop on the amount of Spider-Man that
If
we've
I have to
done.
see Uncle Ben die one more time,
Hey, he didn't die in the new ones, at least, right?
No,
There
but
wasn't
then-
even an Uncle Ben.
then we had to lose May.
It's basically the same thing.
Shout out
Exactly.
to Marissa Tomei. You're right. Listen, you can get into that whole thing
I
about
don't like
Marvel
the way
in
you
general
shouted
these
her
days.
out.
Why?
Okay, okay.
Why can't I
Anyway,
shut her out? Is that a
No.
problem? Is she in
I-
controversy? Did I say something wrong?
no, you
All
know what
right.
I'm talking about. What were you saying, Lana? Did I say
Oh,
something?
well, as a fellow film major,
Period.
yes, Hollywood is running out of ideas. It's hard to find originality these days in a lot of
Wait,
films.
hold on. So Lana, film major,
Yeah.
JT, film major.
See,
Why aren't you guys making movies then, huh? Shouldn't you already be making these big time Hollywood productions? Isn't that how this works? You're supposed to get like a lucrative. No, I'm kidding. Well, my thing is this: is like everyone says Hollywood lacks new ideas and all this originality stuff, but then who's gonna create the new stuff? Like, isn't it kind of on the next generation of people to kind of make these new stories?
In a way, it is, but
there's also the phrase "there's nothing new under the sun."
that too.
Mm.
And also, like,
So we just complaining, huh?
Literally.
a little bit, yeah. But I've seen like stuff that like some like my other like film classmates have like done, and they're pretty cool. So I have good hopes.
Let me
for
show
sure.
you how hard it is to be original. When I was in 8th grade, I was in my James Patterson phase. I wanted to be an author at a time. Yes, until I got sick of writing.
That's wild. I would never expect that plot twist into your story, JT.
Listen, I've got volts. Anyway, I wrote this one story and I thought it was perfect. I thought it was so original. I did not know of Edgar Allan Poe at the time. I was very uncultured. I thought this story that I was concocting was so original. I thought it was deep. I thought it was coming from my twisted little brain until I joined theater. And my freshman year of high school, we did a play based on Edgar Allan Poe, and it was multiple parts of the story. And I realized my so original story, which I was planning on making screenplays to and everything, sounded like a direct ripoff of Cask of Amontillado.
Oh.
I don't even know what that is, but
Long story short, I don't even know how much I'm allowed to say on, but long story short, this guy gets revenge by trapping an old friend into a basement and locking him in.
I remember Cask of
you
Amontillado.
went
There's
to
a
the
lot-
basement thing.
Yeah, there's a lot more details to it, but long story short, it was almost like bit for bit of the plot, and I thought I
That's
was being
funny.
so original until I turned on to the story that came out almost a century ago, and I was like, dang, I'm really that this is how
No.
bad it is.
It's kind of like that You show on Netflix where Kind of be locking people up in that little box thing. You guys seen that show?
Yeah.
What are
Yeah.
you saying,
I've
Amina?
seen ads for it.
You know, I'm not surprised Amina's seen that show. That's
What's that
definitely
one?
you know
I only,
exactly what
it
that
was
means, Amina.
originally on Lifetime, so of course I watched it. Of
I
course I
can't believe I'm
watched
watching
it.
Wait,
that
wait,
right
wait.
now.
Amina, you
Oh
were saying
Lord.
something before our.
I was saying if I learned anything from watching my good Hallmark and Lifetime movies is that you can recreate the same exact plot, just the different setting,
Yeah.
characters, different career aspirations, and it's different. It's not the same, it's different.
You know
So
what? That's kind of true, and like people are still gonna watch it.
yeah.
People, you
Yeah.
mean Amina's keeping the Lifetime and Hallmark channels alive by
I am.
herself.
You know
Amina
what?
and my mom.
One day I really feel that Hallmark should just have me as like their spokesperson.
It should happen. You know what? I think that is going to be added to my bingo card for 2030. By that time, Amina will
Yeah.
be the face of Hallmark Channel. What a time to be alive. What a time to be. What a great show. What a program. JT.
I think you're
gosh.
very. I don't think you're right in this scenario. I don't know about this, Isaiah. But we're gonna talk about other people who are wrong, or are they in the wrong? That is right. It's time for everybody's favorite segment where we argue about America's idiots and discuss whether or not they're making dumb choices. For this first story, let's have me start this one off. The vibes were very far from immaculate, as the children like to say. Um,
Wait,
Jane
very,
Doe.
hold on. Sorry,
Uh-oh.
JT. Very quickly. Just to be clear, I did not write that. I don't want to take credit for that title. I want nothing to do with that.
Oh no,
All
I
I
know you didn't
simply
because it's
did
good.
all I simply did was go to Reddit and put it on, and you should be ashamed of yourself if you think that's a good title. All right. I think some of my best work was earlier today, where it was
Old Press do
Old
bad
Press Do
bad.
Bad Bad. I think that was a better title than this one. That's neither here or there. Take the floor, JT.
My God. Okay. You're definitely in the wrong, but we're gonna find out that this person was in the wrong. My son is 4, and this is his first year in preschool. His teacher is called Mary, and she's roughly in her early 30s, if that matters. We first met her on Monday when dropping him off, and I didn't get the best vibes from her. So I looked her up on social media. She posts provocative photos and is very active politically, going to marches and events and stuff like that. The vibes were already far from immaculate, but what I saw made me dislike her even more. I talked it over with my wife, and we decided to ask some of the other parents what they thought of her. We reached out to them and created a WhatsApp group where we started talking, and I shared her account there. It wasn't well received for most parents either, mostly because of the provocative photos. Nothing happened for a couple of days, but a fellow parent kept tracking her account, and she saw she uploaded a selfie with 3 of her students on Thursday. The parents were furious about that, and they went to the district supervisor first thing Friday morning. Since I was the one who started the group, he called me to confirm and hear my side of the story and asked me if I could come to this office this evening. I did. She was there along with a few other parents, and we all started talking and trying to explain the issue. Voices were raised, and at one point, she started accusing me of stalking her and then sharing her account to perv on her with the other dads. I was like, lady, I was just trying to see what kind of person is going to be teaching my son. But she wasn't having any of it and kept arguing. Things escalated even more, and other parents demanded that she be removed from the class. I didn't outright concur or join with them, but I didn't object either. The supervisor ordered her to take down the photos along with any she had uploaded from previous students, but he didn't reach a conclusion. Rumor has it he's considering placing her in another school because the year just started, but we'll find out Monday. I suppose. Anyway, am I in the wrong? Yes,
Yes, yes.
very much so.
Hmm.
I have some things to say
The floor is yours.
on regards to this teacher. When you are a teacher, and if you choose to be on social media, it is very important about what you put on that social media because parents can find it. First off, make it private because students should not be able to find it. Second off, do watch what you're doing. Like it is like a job. Like where you don't want your boss seeing you doing things that you probably would get in trouble for.
Mm.
Like live your life, yes, but don't have to post about it every single time.
Okay, wait. So Lana, are you pointing your direction of wrongness to the teacher or to the parents?
I feel like maybe both in this situation because the way they handled it wasn't well. Like they shouldn't have like started this group chat behind her back. They should have just, if they really had a problem with it, I would say just have gone to a supervisor right away. They the way the way they went about it isn't okay, but like also the fact of like how she's I guess perceiving like how she's has her account, I don't think is right either. And it isn't okay for teachers to also like most of the time post selfies of students, and you'll actually see like a lot of teacher TikToks.
That's the only thing I don't agree with.
Yeah.
Like the only reason I even have a problem with that, like I don't think she meant it in any other way, but I know certain people have qualms about their children being featured online without
That
their
is true.
knowledge.
That's why
That's the only thing I'm like, okay, she didn't have to do that. Everything else though, like my thing is like, I hope we reach an age where we really don't have to narc your social media, because I already know that I probably have to when I go into the big boy world, I will probably have to purge my Facebook because I've had that thing
Yikes.
since 2012. And let me just say 2012 JT was not a very nice JT. So
Well, the world was ending. You didn't know what to do back then.
like I can see that point, but like I see this in a way because like I grew up with a teacher, so like I know like how like they have like their own like code of ethics that they have to follow because of what things can go on, and like parents can and will like find like anything to complain
They
about.
will. And that's
Yeah.
on them. If you're a complainer, you just need to find something better to do with your time. My thing is, what does her posting? I don't know what she was posting. See, here's the thing: by the tone of this post, they keep on implying that these posts are very provocative. But I've met these type of people before. Chances are, when people are like raving about provocative photos, it's nothing more than them wearing something other than slacks.
Yeah.
The simple
Okay.
photo of some girl enjoying
She took a
time at the
beach photo.
Yeah, enjoying time at
Yeah.
the beach or like hanging with her friends, and some middle-aged old certain culture male is going to comment on everything about it and accuse her of posting thirst traps. It's typical with me. So I'm not even entirely sure if these are really provocative, but regardless, what does that have to do with her ability to teach? As long as my kid, comes in a little more educated than he left, do what you want.
You're right. It doesn't have anything to do with like her ability to teach, and like she should be allowed to like post whatever she wants. But I don't know. It's hard to explain
I get it.
because it's just
Anybody else want to
way,
land?
like
Yeah, I mean, I
held
just
to a
feel
higher
that,
standard
I just
that
feel that
people have to follow.
like the group of parents in this situation are acting very childish, that they had to make a group chat and they're all very judgmental, and they came to a lot of conclusions probably before ever even talking to this person. And also the fact that they are kind of just like scrolling through her social media is kind of like a little kind of stalkery. Like it's kind of weird that they had to like analyze her account, which I get that it's open and everyone can look at it, but like I don't know. It's like it seems like what she does outside of the classroom is none of your business, and she can kind of do whatever she wants to do. Now, if she was posting like I'm in a cult and we eat little children, then I feel like okay, that's a valid concern. But they're going to a lot of judgmentals based on how she looks in her photos and what she does in her free time, regardless if they're on a different political spectrum than you. As long as your children are getting a valid education and there's no controversies within those walls of a classroom, I feel like she's free to just live her life. And I get that like teachers kind of have to have like this image, but at the end of the day, like when you clock out of Target, like you're not a Target employee when you leave. Like when you leave like a doctor's office or something like that, you like you do other things. You're not just a doctor or a teacher or a cop 24/7 hours a day. Like you have like your own personal things that you enjoy, and you should be able to post it without feeling guilty about it because you have to keep this reputation of being something.
Mhm.
That's how I
Yeah.
feel. Do I think the one problem though is the fact that she took pictures with the kids without like any consent from the parents or anything like that? That's a valid excuse to be like angry, and then I'm sure those parents could have approached a teacher saying, "Listen, I don't want my kids on there," and they could have had like a pretty civil conversation. But
Well,
instead,
that's yeah.
they took it straight to the principal, had the group chat, and it was very just kind of uncomfortable for everyone so fast.
Mhm.
I do agree that the way they went about it was not correct. They should have, if they had an issue like with like even the smallest one, they should have just like sent an email at least to the teacher and being like, "Hey, this came up. Is there like something that we could do about it?" They shouldn't have gone through a whole group chat. They shouldn't have stalked her Instagram, and they shouldn't have gone straight to the supervisor.
Mm.
I just feel like the whole thing was just weird. One, for the teacher, she should have just had her account on private
That
and we wouldn't
too.
That's
even
true.
have
That could
this.
have
That would
solved a
have been
lot
the
of problems.
yeah, simple. But then also for the mom, it's like you purposely went out of your way from the jump because you said that she gave you weird vibes. So you went and looked her up. And then you took her social media because I'm pretty sure nobody else knew about her social media but you. So you took it and then showed everyone. So now everybody else has a problem. So now it's this big thing, all because you felt like a weird vibe, which she didn't even really specify what the vibe she was getting from her.
Yeah.
Like, was she
What
rude?
I'm assuming
Was like,
is what I'm assuming is these are people of a very older age group, and this is a very young teacher. So already you know how certain people of a certain age feel about anybody younger than 30. Um so that's what I think started this. I think that they probably are of a certain these are a lot of assumptions. These are not the opinions of WMSC. This is from my personal experience. This is a very uh Facebook alt-right group type of crowd that looks at somebody, looks at their age, looks at what they're into, and goes, "They're probably making commie TikToks with my child." That's probably like something that rang through their brain. And that's what prompted them to go on social media. And what most likely happened, they found a beach photo in which somebody was eating a sandwich with their friend at the beach. And they were like, they said preschool. Okay. So my 1-year-old child doesn't need to open their phone that they shouldn't be having in the first place, going on Instagram, which they shouldn't be having an account in the first place, and going onto social media under their teachers' pages, which should have no access to in the first place, and finding you it I can't say it.
You're saying it right, pal. I couldn't have said it any better. It's just the fact that she has
Oh
the
my God.
audacity
Oh god.
to come up in here wearing those promiscuous clothing is a flat out disgust, and we deserve to have her fired. Roll Tide. Listen, JT, I think it's time
Yes.
for a break. I think we have all kind
We
of come to an
we have
agreement
roasted
here.
this poor, no, not poor. They deserved roasting. Anyway, oh God, that was so heartless of me. Speaking of
What
heartless,
a just go to break, man.
I'm gonna let Kanye take it over.
Kanye.
Hello, 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 hello. Welcome back. That was Heartless by the boy Kanye. I am your boy JT. This is the Morning Buzz here at WMC Upper Montclair. I hope we're all doing well. We have more odd, funky, fun news here on the station. Isaias, would you like to take this next story?
Sure, sure. First, we put the customer on the grill. Listen.
Oh, not today.
Also, shout out
Um,
JT for all the great songs.
Yeah,
really,
JT.
JT.
Agree.
This is probably the best playlist I've heard out of all the
Ooh.
board ops.
All right, Campbell, you can get
Yeah,
out
he
now.
just came for you without saying
Just
anything.
decided Campbell's no longer a part of the program. It's been a great time to be alive. Got COVID and then someone insults you just like that live on radio.
Shouldn't
What a
have got COVID,
time
bro.
to be alive. Yeah, you're right. Well, whoever did it, I will find you and I will make sure you pay for the amount of disrespect you've given me. Let's talk about some New York apartments though. A tiny Manhattan apartment has gone viral for being so small and the fact that someone actually lives in it. Caleb Simpson video of Alania Randazzo's Midtown home has racked up more than 1.5 million views on YouTube. At $650 per month, the apartment is a steal for its location, but the tenant also shares the shower and toilet down the hall with other building tenants. This setup is what is known as a single room occupancy, or an SRO, officially defined as a unit with one or two rooms that either lacks a complete sink and or bathroom or shares them with other units. The young lady's kitchen has two burner stove and a sink, both atop a mini fridge and a small, and I mean small cabinet of storage, and the kitchen also lacks an oven. But have no fear for space, as she has enough room for at least a TV and a small futon that you can almost wash your hands from. That's right, you can almost reach the sink from your space on the futon. So if you're eating wings, what a clean solution to that. um, then you have a very small ladder upstairs to her bedroom, or not her bedroom, her bed, because that's all that is up there, which probably has about 3 feet of space from the ceiling. The apartment in total size is 80 by 150 square feet, and despite the size, the price is great for the young lady who saves around $2,600 in rent per month. Wow. Could you guys imagine living in something that small on purpose?
I don't think I could do
I
it.
think it's called a single in any of the buildings on campus.
Nah, that can't be that bad. This is
Well, I mean,
Like-
like,
Aren't
the
these
sing-
like? Sorry, go ahead.
oh no, I'm sorry. With a single, don't you still have access to the bathroom? You just have to go out the door.
Like this woman does.
yeah, the
She has
same
to
thing as this
leave.
lady.
But oh,
How small is a single here?
I know I dormed in Machuga Heights the first 2 years on campus, and the singles now one thing about the singles is like it didn't feel so claustrophobic. There was like, at least in Machuga, there was like rooms to yourself, and you walked in and there was 3 rooms. There was the 2 individual rooms, and then there was the bathroom that you had to walk out to. But the bedrooms themselves were very cramped. Like 3 people in there, you're already wall to wall. Like they were very small.
you're
Oof.
right. Oh my god, I can't believe I forgot about that.
Yeah, I'm not actually claustrophobic, but I need space to roam. So when I would go to my friends' rooms with like these like tiny rooms, I'd be like, I couldn't do this. Like I can literally like my 5'5" tail can put my feet on one wall and hands on the other wall. I can't do this. But for $600 a month, especially in New York,
Not even just New York, but Manhattan.
I mean,
That's
like,
crazy.
like you're not finding $600 rent anywhere. Mind you, I'm talking about $600 rent like it's $2. Like I don't think I've had $600 in the past 3 months, let alone somebody who has to pay this monthly. So this is somebody who is paying about a quarter of what your average American pays for rent. So
Times are rough, man. And I feel like a lot of places in New York City kind of have this similar thing of being so small. I'm going to try to share my screen with you, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, sometimes technology be technologying. But here is like the general size of the apartment. and then right where I see like that kind of weird rug thing is, there's like a small couch under there, and then her bed's on top of it. But that is
She
a
has a
small
dog.
space.
So
Yeah,
this is
that's a
basically
bold
tiny
strategy.
house.
Yeah, it's like a very extreme tiny house. But I feel like
Mhm.
some tiny houses have like space within that for the most part. This is like a closet house. I don't know
I
what
feel
else to
bad for
call
that
that.
poor dog that she
Yeah,
has.
She probably walks him a lot, like a
I would
lot,
hope so.
just to keep him from.
Because that's not enough room for a dog that big.
You imagine cooking in there though? Just like it just always be smelling.
No, I need space when I cook. Like when I tell you when I cook, and I need
JT
space.
cooks.
Yeah, I
Do you
cook.
cook?
What do you be
Yeah.
cooking, JT?
Man, I'll be cooking a little bit of everything. I need to open my palate. I am ashamed to have disgraced the black community. One dish that I have not mastered is fried chicken. The last time I tried, I started a grease fire. So maybe no fried chicken on campus. I'll try it
What?
at home again. But everything else, I got you. But
Really? Wow, look at you, JT.
Can I come over?
of course,
Anyone
I'm-
else here be cooking these days? Lana,
I-
you cook?
A little bit, yeah. More so at home than here on campus because community kitchen. But
Fair.
yeah,
Isaiah, I know you be cooking. You were judging my spice cabinet at home over the summer.
I was very judgmental. No, I enjoy the kitchen, man. It's a fun time. Campbell, you be cooking?
A little bit, a little bit.
Oh, what
Not
you
all
be
the time.
cooking, Campbell?
Not all the time.
What do you okay, what's your go-to dish, Campbell? What do you be serving up to people?
Please say
I
so.
I help make my mom chicken parm.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I like chicken parm. I rocks with the chicken parm. Amina,
Amina.
you've had a certain face throughout this conversation. You don't be cooking, huh?
I do.
Oh, you do?
I do.
Really?
Oh.
What is
Now,
your go-to
How
dish then?
diverse it is. That's
Oh
where
no.
we like draw the line. I feel like the most I cook is probably like I'll do like grilled shrimp.
Ooh, wait a minute.
Okay, you made it seem like you were just making eggs or something.
Homegirl was
No.
I'm thinking homegirl about to say it's like, just basic chicken, some white rice, nothing special. She gonna say some sauteed shrimp. I
Mhm.
haven't even tapped into seafood yet, but go on.
I mean, I feel like it's not. You could try it.
It's
not
easy to make,
yeah.
JT. Yeah,
It's easy, it's just
Yeah,
expensive.
yeah.
That is why I have not made
Shrimp?
seafood in general.
Nah, you just gotta
It
find like
is.
cod is normally a pretty good deal these days. Come
I
on,
can
you
get,
gotta
like,
find
breaded
it.
fillets. Pretty cheap.
I'm
Even
telling you.
Lana knows, JT. You're making excuses.
I'm
Maybe you just don't
telling you,
like
though.
fish.
No, I love fish. I can't say what type of fish person I am, but you know what I'm gonna say, thinking of. But I love seafood. I love seafood.
Oh.
Let's not.
Let's go to the next story. I don't even know how to transition out of
Long
that
story
one.
short, when I learned
Good
how to make seafood
Lord.
Alfredo, I'm chefing it up.
Anyways, Amina,
Kong.
very quickly, other than shrimp, what else is that like your go-to thing?
Um,
Shrimp?
I guess, and like the basic chicken, anything that I can grill. I feel
Ooh.
like I'm a griller.
Ooh.
Grilling's
griller.
cool. Grilling's cool.
So, Amina, are you be having barbecues?
Love a good barbecue.
Always.
Guys, come over.
I love
Barbecue
to.
Morning Buzz Barbecue live next week from
Oh, yeah.
Amina's house. What could
Literally.
go wrong? That'd be hilarious. Grilling at 6 a.m. Wild.
I know, right?
Bring the mobile unit over.
Let's get it done. What else we got here, JT?
We got Hong Kong. Was that you or
Who knows, man?
who knows? A company employing thousands of people in central Ohio is asking its workers to pay the company. Honda sent a memo to employees at its Marysville factory saying it overpaid bonuses and needs that extra money back. You funny. Employees say returning the money will be hard for their families, but an attorney not involved with this case said Honda is properly going about collecting the overpayments. One wife of the employee was heartbroken. Not a lot of people can handle this kind of a hit. She provided a copy of the memo her husband received from Honda, informing him that his recent bonus was overpaid. I asked him that. I said, was this the highest check you'd ever gotten for a bonus check? That it seemed weird. He said, no, it wasn't the highest he'd ever gotten. According to the memo, the employee owed back just shy of 8% of his bonus payment. amounting to hundreds of dollars. That's, a car payment. That's half our mortgage. That's 2-3 weeks worth of groceries. That's a lot of money for us. The memo gives employments up to September 22nd to choose whether they'd like the amount they owe to be taken out of future paychecks, deducted from future bonuses, or paid up front. Otherwise, Honda will deduct from future bonuses by default. Snooze or lose,
That's
man. Like, I would have some qualms with them.
some qualms.
Yes, I said it.
This is kind of brutal, man. Imagine just getting that paycheck though, and like I find it interesting that the wife is like, "That's kind of fishy. Are you sure that's the most money you've gotten anytime recently?" He's like, "Yeah, this, no way, that's the most I've ever gotten." So she definitely had a feeling. Which shout out to her. But the fact that like that would just be so upsetting if you were one of the employees and then you get this paycheck, you're kind of happy. Maybe you bought something nice for yourself, and they're like, "Yeah, we don't need that money back." About that,
I would
our bad.
laugh in their face.
No, same.
Yeah.
Sorry. Once that money hits my bank account,
But the thing is that like they have to choose how they want to take it out in the future. That's
Mm,
interesting to me too. Is
you
that
can
like you
get
can
it out
either
of my
choose it
will.
all up front or have it paid like throughout a bunch of different paychecks. Like that's very interesting. Like at that point maybe I would just quit and then try to find a new job
They
and be like,
can
"You're not getting the money within my future checks either."
yeah.
they can get it out of my will, maybe if they're nice. But I won't be paying it back voluntarily.
That's what I'm saying, man.
I just feel like, how do you tell me that you overpaid
Yeah.
me and then want me to give you the money back?
Like it just seems like a you problem, not much of a me problem.
Pretty much. Maybe sell some more cars and you'll make it back. Sell some more cars and you'll make it back.
You'll make it back in like a day. I'll make
Off of one car, they'll probably make out with all the money back, but instead, a typical kind of greedy company can't lose a
It's just like,
dime.
do they really need the money back, or did they just see like, oh, we overpaid them, we want the money back?
that's what it is.
Yeah, definitely the second option.
You
I'm
really
sure they can
think-
take the hit on this one singular Honda dealership.
Oh God, do you really
What a
think
sh-
they were
what a
like,
shame,
no, we
man.
need this money. We're so sorry. They were just like, no, we gave you too much money. Give it back. And I would have been like,
Something that like also stuck out to me was this happened in Ohio.
Yeah.
Of course, it happened in Ohio, Lana. Where else would you have the absolute scum of the planet trying to take money back other than Ohio? Ohio's terrible. The people in Ohio are even worse. I
do
can't
we know
say enough
anything about
terrible things
Ohio?
about Ohio.
Guess?
I know a lot of things. I know one thing for sure. Go Buckeyes, I guess.
Thank
Other
you.
than that,
Thank you.
the rest of Ohio
Campbell's offended.
is an absolute garbage fire. Okay, nobody
He doesn't
likes
like Ohio.
Ohio.
He also doesn't
He-
like Sussex County.
Listen, LeBron James from Ohio, right?
Yeah.
LeBron
Yes.
left
Is
Ohio for a reason. All right, let's
Ain't
leave
no
it at
way.
that. Everyone that's
Yes,
from
it's not every
Ohio,
time.
if they're smart enough, they'll get out while they can. Anyone that moves to Ohio is a clinically insane person that probably still has a MAGA hat. And I'll
Start
keep it at that.
The
He's
Rock
from
and Roll Hall of Fame's in
Akron.
Ohio, though.
From Akron, Ohio.
God. Akron, my bad. My
I know
bad.
way too much about Ohio, and it's just honestly
Why
kind of uncomfortable.
are you from Ohio, Mr. Ramirez?
Sounds like
Don't
he's
ever-
secretly a fan.
Don't ever
You
put
ask
that on me.
me.
Amina, I will not take some blasphemy from
I'm
you,
just
all right?
saying.
This is
the blasphemy
absurd.
that's coming out of Isaiah's mouth talking about Ohio is
Do
really,
you like
really
Ohio, Campbell?
Are you
I-
from
I-
Ohio,
my-
Mr. Soup?
That's a good one. My father went to college out there before he went back to Jersey. I
Boo.
did go to Canton. I
No,
mean,
see, nobody likes Canton either.
I visited Columbus too.
What do you like, Isaias?
I visited
I
Ohio
like
State.
tropical places. I think that's a good start. I like good food.
Tropical
I like
places, yeah.
coffee. See, those are all good things. You know what's a bad thing? Ohio, Indiana. I will say Michigan is better than those two places, but don't get me started on the garbage pile of states that are Indiana and Ohio. All right? All right. And Maine? Ugh.
Maine's not Maine is like the younger sibling of New England.
You just imagine listeners from these states going, I know we're not catching strays from New Jersey right now. Ain't no way.
I mean,
Not for nothing, but at least New Jersey's got. At least New Jersey's close to New York City. And speaking of New York City, the MTA will put surveillance cameras in every subway train in a multi-million-dollar initiative that they hope will make riders feel safer. There will soon be 2 cameras in all subway train cars after the Transit Authority conducted a pilot program in 100 subway cars over the summer. Governor Kathy Hochul said all riders should feel safe when commuting. Quote, no one should ever have fear when they're simply going to school on the subway, on our trains, or going to their jobs. You think Big Brother's watching you on the subways? You're absolutely right. End quote. The $5.5 million expansion was made possible with grant money from the federal government and the MTA's Subway Action Plan. Now, I thought all subways and trains had cameras already. I just assumed that. That is false because at least on NJ Transit, I've seen cameras pretty much on every New Jersey train I've been on, and I guess New York didn't have that operation, which is insane considering the amount of resources in New York would have. I figured that would have already been a thing.
Also, considering the people in New York, no, specifically the subway dwellers. I'm talking the guy dressed as a rat in the corner of the subway train station.
that was so specific, but
I've seen it, and it's terrifying. It's hilarious, but it's terrifying. I'm also talking the guy wearing a literal live Christmas tree, like a Halloween costume.
I'm sorry. What? Like an actual Christmas tree?
Yes.
Not even like a fake, like inflatable, a literal Christmas tree?
No. He had a Christmas tree. He somehow infused himself in the Christmas tree.
That's honestly very impressive.
I saw him in the subway. I saw people. Apparently, it's a popular thing because I saw somebody riding a bike. I took a video of that. I'll show you the video. And yes, so these are the type of people that are in the subway in New York, and you're telling me we don't have cameras?
Yeah, I mean,
this could have been like a Peter Pan thing. The guy in the Christmas tree could have like snuck up behind you, whipped you into the bushes, and nobody would have ever known because everybody minds their own business in New York.
Yeah, I just feel like the amount of things that go down in subway trains, whether it's criminal activity, I've once seen a full-on wrestling event happen, like on YouTube, of like someone having like a whole entrance. They had speakers playing, and they had a full-on wrestling match in a random subway train, which is one, credit to them. Two, ouch to the back hits that they get on a subway. Also, 3, ew for touching the subway floor. Anyways, I think it's valid that we have cameras here. If anyone's uncomfortable by that, get over it because, I mean, everyone's kind of been watching for years at this point. But the fact that this wasn't in action is actually kind of like insane to think about. And hopefully this helps kind of dispel any further crimes that are committed within subway trains. Like hopefully the thought process of having somebody watch you maybe will make people act differently. I doubt it because, New York City subways and especially public transit, I would compare to this entire state of Florida. I think there are no rules. I think anything is possible. And this is a little bit of a shocker that it took this long to even get this into action. That's crazy. That is very crazy. I think we got time for one more story though. If we got to go into 9 o'clock, it is what it is, JT. All right. Why don't you take one last story? We have plenty of options. The floor is yours, my friend.
I'm gonna read this very questionable headline. Too much girth.
Oh.
Firefighters responded to a New Jersey wedding reception when the second-story floor began to cave under the revelers. The Barnegat Light Volunteer Fire Department said crews responded to the Daymar restaurant in the Barnegat when attendees at a wedding on the second floor of the building reported the floor was collapsing. The floor did not collapse, but caved and resulting in the structure being unsafe for the meantime. Firefighters credited the DJ at the wedding reception with announcing the issue and making sure everyone safely vacated the building. Newlyweds Cassidy and Brian Gagliardato said the reception was just getting underway with about 200 guests when the floor started to cave in. Our DJ just kicked it off when we were like 3 songs in. Luckily, we were able to get all of our first dances in and all of our speeches in. Firefighters and said Daymark will remain closed until the building is structurally sound. The couple said the wedding reception continued at a new location. We know where my parents were staying, and we moved to that location, and the party just continued on. Shout out to their safety. Shout out to the floor. No
Did you say shout out to the floor for almost caving in?
I didn't
Come
mean it
on
like
now,
that.
JT.
I just mean like I didn't. Okay, let me rephrase. I mean shout out to the handling of the floor. There we go. There we go. There we go. Don't laugh.
Hey, shout out to 90.3 WMC Upper Montclair.
Yes. Speaking of which, Isaias, I have one more question for you. Why the tagline?
Huh?
Why the tagline?
It was just too much girth going on the floor, and then it started to cave in. Come on, man. What are you thinking?
What's everybody else's opinion on the story?
Why have a wedding reception at a restaurant, knowing maybe the structure of it was not sound? Maybe ask questions beforehand, but why not, use your money to plan all this and have it at a restaurant and not have it at a nice venue?
Well, maybe it was a nice venue, Campbell. Maybe they did take all the necessary precautions. Maybe they didn't take 200 people into the building with them when they were scouting locations, Campbell. All right? Maybe that was not their ideal plan. Maybe something happened within when they bought the or rented the location into the day of. I'm just saying, maybe even a couple people broke it down too many times on the dance floor and caused such an implosion. Anyways, guys, hey, what a great program. What a great program.
This was a great program indeed. I refuse.
Not a program. It's a program. JT, great job. Your first time ever hosting the program. You did great, young lad. From me, I'm going to say goodbye. JT, feel out to close the show, man.
All right, you heard it from Mr. Ramirez right there. He goes off to do whatever Isaias does in his free time. This has been the Morning Buzz here at 90.3 WBC Upper Montclair. I am JT Bethea. Next week, I will be right back at my comfortable spot right across from me. Hopefully, Isaias is back. I will see you soon next week. Y'all be safe.